The top dog in Georgia, there is no question. Buford passed its test, but the state's #1 team is just the beginning as we take 3 cuts on the baseball week that was. Cory McCartney joined by PBR Georgia scouting director Phil Kerber. Phil, good to see you again.
Glad to be back on.
So we open with Buford, which outscored Winder-Barrow 21-4 over a 3-game series. Phil, the Wolves are 28-0 with just 1 regular season game remaining. First, how impressive was Buford in taking down what was the #3 team in the PBR Georgia Power 25? And secondly, are there any lingering questions for you as the Wolves prep for a march toward a state title?
Yeah, the first part of that, I mean, I think it was a dominant performance last week. That first game, we were in attendance for it. Buford, that might have been Winder-Barrow's only chance at it, given that they had their ace on the mound. And then, game 2, I think it was 10-0. And then game 3, Jack Sprocket on the mound for Buford throws a shutout. They win that one 3-0. And I think there's really no question about it that this is undoubtedly the best team in the state. And, I'd go best team in the country. I mean, I've seen them enough, and we've seen IMG. I think they can hang with IMG. I'd love to see a 3-game series there. I'm sure scouts across America would love to see that too, maybe next year. But yeah, there's no doubt that this team is gonna it's just rolling. They got 1 test left. They've got, we'll see what the top team in 7A, Grayson, has to say when they come and face Buford to close out the season. But once we get into playoffs, I don't know at this point. I don't know who can take them down.
Well, if by any chance Buford and IMG Academy do want to set something up, I know of a place in Metro Atlanta that would be more than willing to host them for as many games as those 2 teams would like to play. Next up, Shooter Hunt released the updated 2023 rankings, and 3 Georgians are on the top 10, and Cam Collier, Dylan Lonergan, and Dylan Cupp. But there's a couple of lefty arms, Phil, that have made some seriously big jumps.
Yeah, left-handed pitcher Luke Dotson from Mount Paran is Florida State commit, and left-handed pitcher Bryson Thacker, Tennessee commit out of Coosa High School. 2 guys that, like you said, they made some big jumps in the national rankings. Dotson's a 6'3", 6'4", super projectable arm, up to 89. You can't say enough about the body. It's one of those guys that you dream on when you see him. And he swings it well too. So there could be some 2-way potential there. We'll see how that progresses, especially with that young Mount Paran team that's going to have a lot of eyes on them over the next couple of years. And Thacker is a guy who made a big velo jump over the past couple months. We saw him over in Wilson Premier, and he was 83, 84. Well, this spring he's coming out and touching 91. And I know I get tagged on Twitter with his performances almost every week, and it's close to video game numbers. He's a guy that I'm always looking for the next Carter Holton, because every week you're seeing Carter Holton strike out 14, 15, 16 guys. Well, the next guys down the pipeline to watch will be Cade Fisher and Bryson Thacker. 2 more southpaws that are striking guys out at a high rate, and they're getting it done.
Finally, the Class 6A Region 2 title race is heated. Glenn Academy, Richmond Hill, South Effingham. What lies ahead for those schools, Phil, as they look to sort things out in that region?
Yeah, this is a region that I kind of had my eye on all year. Glenn Academy, we were high on at the beginning of the year. They got hit with the injury bug a little bit, and they've righted the ship at the correct time. And then Richmond Hill and South Effingham have just been steady on the course all year. Well, this year, this final week of the season, Glenn Academy has 3 versus Statesboro. Now, Statesboro, they've got something to play for. They're sitting in that 4th position in region, and Brunswick is 2 games behind them. So Statesboro, depending on how Brunswick does, might need to take a game from Glenn. And then Richmond Hill and South Effingham are going to duke it out 3 games this week. Who knows what happens there? If one of them can get a sweep, then I think it basically kind of clinches the region there. But that one's going to be a fun one to watch, with the top 4 teams in that region all going at each other.
Yeah, certainly something exciting there happening before we even head to the postseason. He is Phil Kerber on Twitter at Phil Kerber PBR. While you're following him, make sure you're following PBR Georgia while you're at it. Phil, appreciate it. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks for having me.